almost thought of quitting it. I was like, I'm quitting this. I don't want to be here. I want to go back. This is horrible. I am in an alien country. No real friend here. What am I doing? I want to go back. This is very humiliating. And it is so sad that the people who weren't able to fit in any group sort of formed a group together. I know that sounds so sad. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ishpreet and I'm a mindset and manifestation coach. Today I'm all dressed up because today is Diwali. Wish you a very happy Diwali if you're watching it just a few days away. I thought that today is going to be the perfect day to shoot this video, and I'll tell you why. Because I was uploading these stories on Instagram, sharing things from last year, and it just struck me that today is the perfect day. Like, I have come such a long way in this last year, and there is no better day to talk about this than today. And also the fact that last year I was in Manali. I spent my morning by the riverside reading a book, calm, peace, quiet. Oh my god, I missed it so much today. I'm still missing it so much today as I speak. It was an amazing day. It was an amazing Diwali. But why firstly I'm making this video is because I have gotten too many questions about my journey. How did I start? Why did I start? From where did I start? All of these questions. So I'm going to answer all of them today, and I'm going to take you back to the time when I was this is going to happen a lot in this video because I'm not used to managing a chimney, so yeah, that's going to happen a lot. But anyway, like I was saying, I want to take you back to the time when all I remember is that I was way younger than I am today, of course, and all I knew at that time was that I don't want to work under somebody my whole life. I mean, that is the only knowing that I had, nothing else. And before I even take you through my journey, I want you to keep in mind that I have been, like, of course not now, but all my life I have been somebody who was very I was decisive in like everyday things. For example, I knew exactly what I wanted and I would go after it. But when it came to my life, I was the most fickle-minded person ever. God knows how many times have I decided that, okay, now I want to be a hairdresser. Now I want to be an air hostess. I also got an offer letter from Jet Airways back, I think 5-6 years ago. Then I wanted to be an image consultant. Then I wanted to work in sales, in retail. Then I wanted to go and pursue further education, which I did. But the only thing is that I didn't do anything in that field. I went and I got that education. I got the second master's in luxury brand management and marketing, which I'll come to in a second. But I didn't really do the predicted path. I didn't do anything in luxury company, in any luxury company for that matter. But the point is that I have been one of the most fickle-minded people when it comes to my life. I just didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted to do. All I knew was that I couldn't be in a job. That's all I knew. So I'll take you from the time that I remembered, okay? I did my bachelor's again because everyone else was doing it, which I do not recommend at this point in time to anybody, which is to do something just because everyone else is doing it. If you're in that age bracket, please listen to this. Listen to this. Like, I am very grateful for every single step of my journey along the way. Like, if I didn't do that bachelor's, if I didn't do the double masters, whatever has got me to the point that I'm today. But I don't know. I mean, I still don't recommend doing something just because everyone else is doing. After that, I went ahead and did an MBA. Again, everyone else was doing it, so I thought, why not? Marketing was one of the subjects that was not my absolute less favorite. Sorry, what did I say? Marketing was one of the things that I thought I'll be able to bear. So I went with marketing. So I did MBA marketing. The only thing that I remember from that course, by the way, is the internship that I did in PepsiCo for 2 months. That's what I did. That's what I remember. After that, I worked again. I went and worked in a casual luxury clothing brand. I worked there for 2 years. It was an outstanding experience. It changed me into a completely different person. Okay, but even then I was confused and I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm doing this because I know this is temporary. I know I'm enjoying this because I know this is temporary. That happened one day suddenly while I was at my job. My dad used to push me a lot at the time to, my sister was in the States, so he was like, do you want to study further? Do you want to go and do something? And I was always the person, I was like, I have done enough studies. I am not going to do another course or something. That's not me. But then I don't know, one day something happened in my mind. I was scrolling through my Instagram, an ad popped up about this course. I started to look into it. And like I said, I was also somebody who was decisive but indecisive when it came to my life at the same time. So I made a quick decision. I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I don't know what happened. Till date, I don't know what happened. But I was like, I want to do this course. And I called up my dad. I told him this is what I want to do. I think in the next month, I quit my job. I moved back to Indore. I started preparing for GRE. I started to do all that. And then a few months down the line, I think just in 8-9 months, I landed in Paris, where my university was. I landed in Paris, spent some time there. My next stop was London and then Shanghai. It was spread across these 3 places. Now, why this part of my life is so crucial? Because I think I am what I am today because of this second master's. Like, of course, I didn't go the predictable path of it career-wise, but it changed me as a completely different person. My expectations were shattered. When I went to Paris, I had these things in my mind that, oh, I'm going to live with an international person, first of all, so exciting. I'm going to be partying and I'm going to be making new friends and I'm going to be doing all this adventurous stuff. God knows what all I had in mind. I went with that expectation and boom, nothing of that sort happened with me. So I went there and I realized that I was not able to fit in with anybody. I was not able to gel in with anyone. Like that Diljit Dosanjh's song, Vibe Teri Meri Mil Diya, that didn't happen with anybody there. While I was trying to explore and find my people, I couldn't find, except I think 1 or 2 people who I made friends with, but even they were not somebody that I would be like really good friends with. So whatever happened that way, it left me feeling very alone. It made me question myself and doubt myself as to, am I not good enough, or what am I doing wrong, or why am I not able to fit in with anyone? Because their thought process was very different from mine. Like, they were not the kind of people I would hang out with. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable hanging out with. And I was just left all alone. And I remember the first 4 months in Paris, most of the time, I was just connected with one friend back in India. I used to tell him every single thing. And rest of the time, I was by myself. And I was feeling so lonely. So many times I used to lock myself in the room. I used to just keep crying, not knowing where have I landed, what have I done. I was like, am I even in the right place? That phase. I felt so absolutely dark in that time that I can't tell you. And now that I think of it, actually, now that I'm talking about it, that was the start of my spiritual awakening, is what I feel. Actually, no, I knew this because I wrote a book, an ebook on this. But like this phase, I never thought of it as the start of spiritual awakening. But anyway, 4 months changed me into a completely different person. It shook me up. By the end of these 4 months, I knew that I had to find a way to sort of enjoy my own company, because I had never done that. I was always relying on people, and if I was not able to fit in, I would question myself, I would doubt myself, right? By the time London happened, I went to London, and I had become a person until that point who would not want to go out with anyone else if I knew there was a possibility for small talks and awkwardness and all of that. And I was like, you know what, I have plans. I would cancel those plans just on the basis of the fact that I had plans with myself. So I started to go out, explore city on my own. I started to talk to random people, meet strangers along the way, ask them to take my pictures. I would take their pictures. I would talk to them, listen to their story. This sounds very movie-like, but honestly, this is exactly what happened. In London, this whole journey of 3 months again brought me to a place where I was doing much better in terms of not caring about if I'm fitting in with people or not. I started to like and enjoy my own company. I started to fall in love with being by myself. Today, that is one of my biggest things that I am so proud of. Like, I literally don't need anyone. If I can travel solo, I can eat solo at a restaurant, I can watch a movie alone in a theater. If there is a company, I mean, of course, I would love to go out with my close friends, but if there is an option that, you can go alone and there is no other way out of this, that you will have to go alone, I will love that. In fact, I take myself out to restaurants even now sometimes, just with a book. Food, that's all I want. I don't care about if there is someone with me or not. I'm going to get bored. I need someone to entertain me. No, I'm past that phase. And that phase happened because of London. So this happened, and I thought I was doing better until Shanghai happened, and then we had to do this dissertation sort of a thing where we were supposed to get together in groups. Now, when I say get together in groups, first of all, my biggest fear came alive because I wasn't able to fit in any group again. I was left out. I felt so left out, and I felt so embarrassed and so humiliated. I remember this process, by the way, the group thing started in the last weeks of London itself. So when I was getting to the terms that I'm not able to fit in with any group, I remember this one time in London that I took a bus back to home, and I broke down in that journey, in that bus that day. I almost thought of quitting it. I was like, I'm quitting this. I don't want to be here. I want to go back. This is horrible. I am in an alien country, alien city. I have no one here, no real friend here. What am I doing? I want to go back. This is very humiliating. And then I picked myself up 1 hour later, and I reminded myself that, hey, I can't quit right now. I have to finish what I started. Then that happened, picked myself up again. Fast forward to Shanghai again, nothing happened, no group. And it is so sad that the people who weren't able to fit in any group sort of formed a group together. I know that sounds so sad. So we worked around that dissertation, and the day that it ended, I was feeling liberated. I was like, I am done with this. I can now go back. But the thing is that then I was supposed to do an internship in some fancy country, but that didn't happen because of various reasons. I came back to India, and then I landed an internship in Taj. After that, I joined WeWork, right? And then fast forward to 2020, when 2020 happened, I was done, I was saturated, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Just around that time, a little before that time, actually, a few months ago, I had attended this event that happened in Bangalore. It could have happened anywhere. It happened in Bangalore. It could have happened anywhere in Bangalore also. It happened 4 kilometers next to my place. It's like it was inviting me to be in that event. And I went to that event. And honestly, when I attended that, I realized that I was sitting on truckloads of talent and skills, because everything that I spoke about, everything that I took you through right now, while all of this was happening, I was still that person who believed in manifestation, who was learning about it, who was implementing it, who was learning new things every day. And even the Paris thing that happened, that was a manifestation. That was one of my biggest manifestations. Everything that happened in this whole time, I was building up my knowledge base. Like without realizing, without knowing, like I never thought I would do something like this and I would help people with this information and knowledge. But I was just doing this for myself. So I loved talking to people about it. And this was one topic, when we are talking about talking to somebody and they say how to find your passion, what is that one thing that you cannot stop talking about? What is that one thing that you keep bringing up in conversations? That's the answer I get usually. When I thought to myself, it was this. I could not stop talking about this. I felt like I wanted my friends to know, I wanted my family to know the power of this and how it's keeping me sane and all these things that was happening. My knowledge base was building basically. Even if you go back to my Instagram and scroll through my previous posts, last year's or even before, so many of those captions sound very similar to what I put today, even when I was not a coach. Okay, so my knowledge right now is a combination of everything that I have learned in the last 7-8 years. Everything that I have gotten through webinars and live events and books and documentaries and God knows what all. But it's like this build up. Now I feel like that build up happened for this moment. Because imagine if I didn't have that, what would I be doing? But that's not the case. That is my purpose. I was sent into this planet, into this world to be that light worker who can sort of heal people and who can bring people up and remind people of the power that they have. And I truly, truly believe in this now. So until before that event, if you asked me, what are you good at, Ishpreet? I would say, honestly, I don't know. I'm not good at anything. That's what I believed about myself. I am not good at anything. If you say I'm not an expert at anything. But after that event, I realized, oh my God, I am really good at this. I can really do this because I have helped my friends actually get out of rough patches in their life. I have helped family members, like they would call me just because they knew they're going to feel amazing after talking to me. So all of that being said, for the first time in my life, I felt like this is something I can do. But I was in a job at the time. Very soon COVID happened. When that happened, there was actually a brief plan to go to London also before that. That didn't work out. Again, I was devastated. But when that didn't work out and when COVID happened, I was so clueless. I was like, I don't know what am I doing with my life, because I was saturated. I could not do that job anymore. My heart wasn't in it anymore. I just couldn't do it. I was like, I'm done with this. And then when my company announced the layoffs, I'm not kidding, I have never gotten a stronger gut feeling than I got that day. I was like, I know this is going to be me. Because firstly, for starters, I had told my manager what I wanted. When she asked me, what do you want to do in 5 years? I told her I don't want to be in a job in 5 years. Now, what manager wants to listen to an answer like that? So I was prepared for it, And I also felt like this is that turning point in my life, that U-turn in my life that I know is going to push me to where I'm meant to be. That's exactly what happened. I was laid off, and when that happened, I was so calm. My parents were flipping out, even if they didn't show. They were flipping out, they were tensed, and I was sitting there calmly, quietly, and I knew, as if I knew this was going to happen, and as if I knew that this marks the beginning of what I'm meant to do and meant to be. So I took all that knowledge that I had gained in the last 7-8 years, and I put it to use. And I put it to actually, I went up to my dad and I told him, you know what, I want to start a business, and this is what I want to do. I want to become a coach, and I want to help people. This is what I'm going to do. Of course, he thought that this was one of those things that I say randomly, one-offs, because like I told you, so many times I had come up with new ideas and concepts as to what did I want to do in life. So even right now, after my business is a huge success now is when he tells me that, you know what, I honestly thought that you weren't going to last in this, because every time you are excited about things and then fades off and then you're back to square one. So I was like, thank you. This is the first time I'm feeling happy about proving you wrong. So I was very happy about that. And I took a week break. I took a week off after this layoff happened. And then I made an announcement on my Instagram saying that this is what I'm going to be doing now. I have chosen this path, blah, blah, blah. And even my first client, if you've been on my social media handles, you would know that I talk a lot about attraction marketing, right? About the fact as to how I have never reached out to a single client in my life. I have always attracted clients into my life. Even the first client that had ever happened this way, just in the first 1 month of my business. And I was very skeptical. I was doubting my own capabilities, of course, but it went so well. Her review is one of the most profound reviews that I still have. Her life changed in 5 weeks. She healed herself. She left the past behind. Whatever she came to me for, we sorted that. And we truly, truly got her to a place where she wanted to be. And this was my first client ever. After that, it was like a journey of ups and downs, because a month or two, this was how it was. I just had 2 or 3 clients. By the time September, October happened, I was not in a very great space emotionally. So I left for Manali. I worked on myself for 2 months, got my first big client by the time that I was supposed to come back to Indore. Right then, that happened. And then my business took off when I was in US. When I was in the States, I was working on myself. I was working on healing myself, on understanding energy, really understanding it, understanding how money works. All of these things were going on side by side, and then my business took off and I never looked back. The first 6 figures happened in US, and now it's a multi-6-figure business every month, and I'm so proud of it. But this journey, this is a short form of what I have explained, and I have just spoken to you candidly here, but there were so many things in between that went like this and this and this and this, including areas, the very, very dark phases of my life. I almost had depression at one point. My parents were scared beyond belief, and they were like, what is happening to this girl? That phase was also a very dark phase that happened back in 2018. The second dark phase was last year in 2020 that I'm talking about, around Manali when that happened. Basically, there were so many road bumps along the way that made me question so many things. But I think it was everything happening in divine order, in universal guidance, that brought me here. You know, me building up the knowledge base all these years, then that event happening, me realizing that okay, this is something I'm good at, this is something I can do, that, and just everything after that, how it turned out, the people who came in my life, whatever happened in that sense, it was all divinely timed. I'll tell you my quick takeaways from this. Okay, I learned how to be by myself. I learned how to enjoy my own company. I learned never to be dependent on anyone else, emotionally or just for anything else as well. Never consider someone else to know more than you without doing your own research. Never rely on someone for that matter as well. Never ignore red flags in a relationship. Like, know exactly when to leave. Know your standards, know your benchmarks when it comes to relationships, and never settle for anything less than that. If you don't fit in a certain group of people, that says nothing about you. That says nothing about your worth. That just means that you are meant for a bigger purpose. That just means that you are so rare that you just don't get along with everyone. You are one of those rare kinds. I realized that long after. Never question your worth that way. Never make anyone so important that you lose yourself in the process. Never ever do that. Forgive yourself for the mistakes that you have done. It's the most important. If I'm here, it's because I chose to forgive myself. Until I did not forgive myself, I was always in a question mark, and I was always lost, and I was always confused, and there was no real progress happening in my life. Forgive the people around you. Whatever they did to you, it still is a blessing in disguise. It always will be. Holding a grudge against someone is like blocking your own blessings. You would never want to do that. Always forgive people. And the most important, trust in the process. You really don't know what is happening for you in the background. If I would have questioned all of this a little too much, because there were times when I felt worthless, when I was like, my colleagues are going way above and beyond in their careers, and look at me, what am I doing? Even after spending so much money for my masters, I'm sitting here not doing anything. Now it all makes sense as to why things happened. So even if you know that you know the best for you, maybe you don't. You never know what's happening in the background for you. So always trust the process. Know that you are always on the right track. No matter what your life looks like right now, you are always on the right track. You're always at the right place at the right time. Trust the process. Go with the flow. Do what makes you feel right. If something feels off, never ever go behind it. If something feels right, run behind it without questioning anything. That's your gut telling you. Okay, so this was a little story from my end. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what was your biggest takeaway if you enjoyed this video. Like this video, don't forget to share it with someone who would benefit from it. Subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon so you know every time I upload a video. I upload a video every Friday with just one of misses here and there. I try not for that to happen, but still it happens sometimes. But anyway, also if you have not joined our Telegram community or our Facebook group, the links are in the description below. If you're interested to work with me, again, the link to my Instagram is in the description box below. I am looking forward to connecting with you, and until then, I will see you in my next video. Bye.